The name of our topic is water. Now in this topic or in this video, we are going to develop an understanding regarding first the water cycle, second about the distribution of the water bodies, and third about the ocean circulation. So let us start. So first we will be discussing about the water cycle. Now the process by which water continually changes its form and circulates between the oceans, atmosphere and land is known as the water cycle. In other words, we can say that first the sun's heat causes evaporation of water into vapor. Second, when the water vapor cools down, it condenses and forms clouds. And lastly, from there, it may fall on the land or sea in the form of rain, snow or sleet. So this is about the water cycle. The second thing that we are going to discuss is about the distribution of the water bodies. Now, the major sources of fresh water are the rivers, ponds, springs and the glaciers. The water of the oceans is salty or saline. That is, the amount of salt in grams which is present in 1000 grams of water. And the average salinity of the oceans is 35 parts per thousand. And most of the salt is sodium chloride or the common table salt. Dead Sea in Israel has a salinity of 340 grams per liter of water. And we all know that 3/4 of the earth's surface is already covered by water, but the availability of the fresh water is very limited. Hence, the following table gives us the distribution of water in percentage. So, if we talk about oceans, it comprises up to 97.3%, which is the saline water. However, fresh water is ice caps, which is 0.2%, groundwater, which is 0.68%, freshwater lakes, which is 0.009%. Then we have inland seas and salt lakes, which are again 0.009%. Then we have atmosphere, which constitutes 0.0019%. And lastly, the rivers, which contribute 0.0001%. Now, the addition of all this makes it 100. Okay, so we have to know that 22nd March is celebrated as the World Water Day. Now, it was there to create awareness regarding the need to conserve the water. Now, after discussing about the water cycle and the distribution of water bodies, let us discuss the last part, that is the ocean circulation. Now, ocean water keeps moving continuously, and these movements which occur in the oceans can broadly be categorized into three. First, the waves, second, the tides, and third, the currents. So, first we will discuss the waves. Now, when the water on the surface of the ocean rises and falls alternatively, then they are called waves. Waves are formed when winds scrape across the ocean surface. Now, the stronger the wind blows, the bigger the wave becomes. Now, during a storm, the winds blowing at a very high speed form huge waves. Now, these may cause tremendous destruction. An earthquake, a volcanic eruption or underwater landslides can also shift large amounts of ocean water. Now, as a result, a huge tidal wave becomes a tsunami, which may be as high as 15 meters. Now, the largest tsunami ever was 150 meters high. These waves travel at a speed of more than 700 kilometers per hour. And the tsunami that hit in 2004 caused widespread damage in the coastal areas of India. The Indira Point in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands also got submerged after the tsunami. Now, after talking about the waves, we shall be talking about the second type, that is the tides. Now, the rhythmic rise and fall of ocean water twice in a day is called a tide. Now, it is a high tide when the water covers much of the shore by rising to its highest level. However, it is a low tide when water falls to its lowest level and recedes from the shore. Now, the strong gravitational pull exerted by the sun and the moon on the earth's surface causes the tides. The water of the earth closer to the moon gets pulled under the influence of the moon's gravitational force and causes high tide. Now, during the full moon and new moon days, the sun, the moon, and the earth are in the same line and the tides are highest. Now, these tides are called the spring tides. But when the moon is in its first and last quarter, the ocean water gets drawn in diagonally opposite directions by the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon, which results in low tides. These tides are called neap tides. But what are the importance of these tides? So let's discuss. So high tides helps in navigation. They raise the level of the water close to the shores, which helps the ships to arrive at the harbor more easily. Secondly, the high tides also helps in fishing. Now many more fish comes closer to the shore during the high tide, which enables the fishermen to get a plentiful catch. And the rise and the fall of water due to tides is being also used to generate electricity in some places. So this was about the tides. Now third is the ocean currents. Now ocean currents are streams of water flowing constantly on the ocean surface in definite directions. The ocean currents may be warm or cold. Now generally the warm ocean currents originate near the equator and it moves towards the poles, and the cold currents carry water from the polar or higher latitudes to tropical or lower latitudes. The Labrador Ocean current is cold current while the Gulf Stream is a warm current. The ocean currents influences the temperature conditions of the area. Warm currents bring about warm temperature over the land surface, and the areas where the warm and cold currents meet provide the best fishing grounds of the world. Now, seas around Japan and eastern coast of North America are examples of the above type. The areas where a warm and cold current meet also experience foggy weather, making it difficult for navigation. So, this was about the entire chapter.